Hello, welcome. I am Amber, and I just wanted to jump on here really with the intention of talking about some of the things that we are doing to prepare for hiking the Appalachian Trail. So, for those of you who have not seen our previous video that we uploaded a couple of weeks ago, we introduced ourselves, we introduced our two boys, we talked about what we're most excited for in hiking the Appalachian Trail and what we are most afraid of and what we're hoping to learn. And so if you haven't checked out that video, definitely do so. So the intention of this video is really just my husband and my intention really is to invite everybody in and being able to witness what it is that we are doing in preparing for and leading up to being able to go on this incredible hike and this incredible adventure. And we really feel that the preparation leading up to is an adventure in and of itself, like even before going on the Appalachian hike. So we 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 really wanted to allow you guys to take this journey with us, and hoping that it will start to dispel maybe some of the fear that other people have that has prevented them from doing this particular type of hike or this adventure, really anything else in their life, and being able to hopefully show people how to navigate through things in their own lives. We want to be able to inspire people to live an epic life. We want to inspire people to do the things they're most passionate about and to follow your dreams and recognize that the only limitations are the ones we create in our mind. So, that being said, for those of you who don't know, the Appalachian Trail is about a 2,200-mile hike along the East Coast, the eastern side of the United States, and give or take maybe 100 or so miles, because depending on what book you're reading or what blog you're looking at, sometimes it's a little less than 2,200 miles, sometimes a little bit more, so we kind of just averaged it out, and 2,200 miles. So it stretches from Georgia all the way up to Maine. And this is a hike that we have been wanting to do for a really long time, at least as long as I've known about it, which is at this point about 10 years. And my husband and I, neither of us have ever been at a point in our life, at least when we found out about it, that we thought we could even make this a reality. I have always been in school full time and working, or working two jobs and not in school, or working three jobs, or running multiple businesses while also working. I mean, I have just always had so much going on. I was never in a place where I thought, oh yeah, I can just drop everything and like go hike for 5 or 6 months. That just was not something I thought would be in the cards for me anytime soon. And my husband has a similar story. So yeah, here we are. Now we we have been really wanting to do something incredibly epic. In 2021, we lifted our anchor. We embarked on what we called our life road trip adventure. We bought a trailer and a truck, and we lived in this trailer as we traveled across the country with our two boys. At the time, we were dating, and this was just like one of the most wild things that we didn't even know what was possible. And with everything going remote in 2020, we were just like, oh my gosh, we have a window. We have a window to actually make this a reality. And so we embarked on that adventure in 2021 for a year, and it was the most incredible experience that either of us had ever had in our entire life. And it really broke down a lot of limiting beliefs of really what was possible. And so here we are in 2023, and we are ready for this next epic adventure. And hiking the Appalachian Trail was one of those things that really called to us, and we decided to accept the challenge of first even just making this possible, and then of course the second challenge of actually doing the hike itself. So again, the intention is to be able to just bring you guys along with us in this journey leading up to, and then of course while we are on the trail, and then of course every other adventure that follows after that. And it's something that we both have just been feeling really called to do. So here we go. Talking about some of the things that we have to orchestrate and some of the things that we really have to navigate through that are a bit challenging, but we are willing to meet that challenge. So the first thing that we need to first navigate through is our co-parenting. So I have a son from a previous marriage. He's amazing, and he is, I co-parent with his father. My husband has a son from a previous relationship, a previous marriage, and he's also amazing. And he co-parents with his ex-wife. So that's already a unique a unique situation to kind of navigate through. And so, how are we doing this? How are we even approaching this? Because I think that there are a lot of other parents that in a co-parenting relationship who would be like, no, you cannot take my child for months at a time to like go live in the wilderness and sleep on the ground and not have service. Like, I'm not okay with that, right? So it's something that we're taking really delicately, but we're hoping that we're going to be able to make this beautiful compromise. We're just speaking that out and feeling confident about that. So essentially what that's looking like. So for me, I'm having conversations with my son's father, and I think, my son's father has always been really open to creating experiences for his son, and that's really what that's really the intention that I've gone in with. Is like, this would be such an incredible experience, such an incredible adventure to be able to experience hiking this trail and being out in nature and just kind of submersing yourself in really just in nature and all of the things that we will learn. I mean, it's an experience that would be unparalleled, right? And I mean, that would be incredible. I can't even imagine going and doing something like that when I was young. We didn't travel at all when I was growing up. My dad left when I was young, and so my mom raised us as a single mom, and she was in school or working, or she was working two jobs. I mean, she was just superwoman, really, just doing everything she could put food on the table. So we didn't go anywhere. our vacation was like sometimes going to Lagoon, which is an amusement park here in Utah. So anyway, those are some of the conversations that I've already started having with my son's father. But we are getting there. So here's what our plan is. We felt like we did need to have some kind of compromise. To be gone for 5 or 6 months with the boys where the other parent doesn't see them. We thought that would be kind of unfair. So this is what we've decided to do. Our approach and plan is we are going to wait till they're out of school at the very end of May, and we are leaving the Friday after, like the week that school ends, we're leaving that Friday. And the plan is to actually start in Maine. So we're going to start northbound and then go down to Georgia, because people who usually start the Appalachian Trail start in like April, like early April, and they start in Georgia. They start the south side. And we realized because we're leaving about month and a half late, we're actually going to start the northern end. So we're going to start in Maine, in Maine, and we are going to get halfway. So the plan right now is to be able to bring our boys and doing at least half of the hike with us and making it down to Harper's Ferry, hopefully by the first week or so of August. And then we would be flying the boys back from Harper's Ferry and dropping them off with the other parents so that they can spend time with them pretty much the next couple of months while we're gone, and being able to start school on time since it's something they both want to do, and being able to spend the rest of the summer with their other parent. And then Eric and I will fly back to Harper's Ferry, and we will pick up where we left off, and we will continue the trail down to Georgia. And the plan right now is to finish the hike by November. So, and then we will fly back and reunite with our boys, and yay, we'll have a party. So, so that is the plan right now. That's what we're looking to navigate through, and the compromise that we're making. And yeah, just also having this conversation a year in advance will help with really being able to navigate through everything, and navigate through these conversations with the other parents. So there's one piece of it. I already touched on the school piece, because some people are like, my kids can't miss school. So there's that piece too. The next piece, of course, is income. How much does it cost, and what do we need to do to save up the money? And income ties into gear, which ties into jobs, which ties into everything else, right? So the next huge piece, the next huge challenge to navigate through is that income side, right? So everything that we've read, the books and blogs and YouTube videos that we've seen, it looks like the people who have done this recommend about $2,000 per person per month. And so with the four of us, the first half of the trail, that would be 2, 4, 6, 8. So $8,000 for May through essentially July, till the end of July, beginning of August. And so that equates to, let's do some math here. So we've got basically all of June, all of July, probably half of August. and that needs to also encompass plane tickets, because there's going to be a lot of back and forth where we're flying out to Maine, all four of us, and all four of us are flying back to Utah, which is where we currently are, from Harper's Ferry, and then there's me and Eric that will be flying back to Harper's Ferry. When we get down to Georgia, then we're flying back to Utah from Georgia, and flying out of these places and into these places is not the least expensive places to fly into or out of, and so that's really something that we're taking into consideration. So about $2,000, give or take a little bit more for plane tickets, and then of course $2,000 for Eric and I for the remaining months. So roughly we're planning on saving about $22,000, and that's what we think that this is going to cost us with everything, because we also have some wiggle room in being able to play when we go into certain towns, and being able to just experience things like going out to eat and getting a burger when we've been on the trail for a week, and the boys are like sick of couscous and ramen or whatever we're eating, right? so anyway, there's that piece too. So we have been diligently sticking to a budget, and we have been putting money in savings. And our plan right now is, when it comes time to hike this trail, we are going to both quit our jobs, and we have a couple of businesses that we have been building, and the intention is to build not just savings but also have some sort of residual income that's coming in. So we did have a business that was producing residual income, but Eric and I made the decision that because it wasn't totally aligned with where we were wanting to go, we decided to actually stop putting resources, energy, and time into building that. And that was a really incredibly hard decision, because that's something we've been doing for the last 5 years. And so much time, effort, and work dedicated to that, but it really wasn't aligning with helping us to be able to get to where we're wanting to go with the rest of our lives as far as travel. And so that was a really, really challenging decision that we had to make. But it has, we ended that essentially last week, and ooh, yeah, and that really is also in preparation for being able to hike this trail. And there's a lot of fear, at least for me. I think Eric was more ready to like step aside from that, but I mean, it was like my baby. I put so much love and energy into building the relationships that I had built with people in order to be able to create a successful asset, if you will, and yeah, made a very courageous decision to, because it wasn't in alignment with where we were going, to step away from that, and our jobs wouldn't be in alignment anymore either. And so there's a lot of people we know that are like, I couldn't leave my job. And Eric and I are both in our 30s, and this is usually the time when you start getting really waist deep in a career, and making a name for yourself in the world. And so there's a lot of fear and insecurity that we have witnessed when we talk to people that like, I could never leave my job. Like, my whole career track would be thrown off, and what would I do when I got back? And there's just so much fear and uncertainty around that. And so Eric and I have decided, if it doesn't line up with our values and where we're wanting to go, then um, it's got to go, and we will find the things that will align with our values, and will align with where we're wanting to go, and align with what's feeding our soul. So be quitting our job, and since we have stopped dedicating resources to this other business that we were building, it has opened up a lot of space to be able to devote some creative energy into creating other things that are going to hopefully bring in a flow of income that will not only help with building up savings, but will also create residual income for us over this next year, and will be something that's flowing in while we're on our hike. So, anyways, and that will lead into all of the incredible adventures that we have planned. Literally, guys, like, I'm so excited for the next five to 10 years. It's going to be so unbelievably epic, and I'm like really excited. Not that I'm really trying to get away from future tripping, but I'm so excited to 5 or 10 years from now being able to look back on like this exact moment and being like, wow, that was like just the beginning. Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, okay, so challenges. So quitting our jobs, that's how we're taking care of finances. It's really just being diligent about saving money. But here's the thing too. We don't want to put everything on hold for this year in order to make this happen. Like just sitting and suffering because we can't spend any money. And we want to be able to go out and hike and go on adventures this year too. And so that's something else is we've been really, really working on just our mindset the last handful of years, and we know that as long as we are, working hard, and our heart is in the right place, and we are focused on really what matters most, we have just seen miracles happen and things come together. So we have a really, really good plan in place, and we have specific goals that we've set up and baby steps to those goals. And so that's what we will really be working on over this next year, is devoting time to those creative projects that are going to grow into creating more of a residual income that is actually going to align with where we're going. So there's that. As far as what are we going to do for work when we get back, I don't know. I don't know that Eric and I will ever go back to working at a job. We feel like our career path, if you will, is going to legitimately be traveling and sharing our experiences with people. And Eric has an incredible photography business, so you'll definitely have to hang tight to see the incredible photos that comes out of this adventure as well. But anyways, I think the last thing, the last challenge working through is just gear. So Eric is totally the gear junkie. He is taking the lead on that. I have taken the lead on like the financial aspect of everything, and I am taking the lead on like the logistics of like the hike itself. So he is the one who's been doing tons of research on gear, and we will do a whole gear video, especially as we finish gathering everything. We've already got a lot right now that he's gotten, but I'm going to have him do his own video on like everything that he's been doing, because he knows how to find these incredible deals of like really good quality backpacking equipment. And he's been backpacking for a really long time, and so he knows like what brands are already good. He knows what's necessary and what isn't. And our plan is to, as we continue to accumulate this gear, we are going to be testing it and using it over this next year. So we have tons of hiking trips that are planned, tons of mountains we're planning on summiting here in the Utah area and in Colorado, Arizona, things like that. And I swear there was something else that I wanted to share that I wanted to talk about with you guys. Oh, our house. Okay, so it's like, what do people do with all of your stuff? So that's a question we keep getting. Like, what are you gonna do with your house? What are you gonna do with all your stuff? So I have always been drawn to living a more minimalistic lifestyle, but I have accumulated quite a few things over this past year and a half, mostly plants and books. I mean, that library. And Beauty and the Beast, and Belle walks in and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's the books." That's my dream. So I have collected a lot of books. So what I'm probably going to do, we're renting a home right now, so we won't be renting a home anymore when we leave. And I am planning on finding new parents for all of my plants. And I will probably, hopefully, my mom will hang on to all my books. And then anything that Eric wants to keep, or the boys, we might put in storage. I kind of want to avoid getting a storage unit, just because it's like so expensive. I feel like, to store all of your stuff that you're not even using. I don't know. I'm kind of the type of person that I just want to live out of a backpack the rest of my life, but Eric is not that way. So we'll probably get a storage unit unless our parents are willing to hang on to all of our fun things here. And but we will be downsizing significantly again, because we did that when we left on our life for trip adventure. So yes, so those are the things that we're doing. Those are the things that we're preparing for. Those are the conversations we're having. Those are some of the goals we have set. And yeah, so anyways, thanks for watching, and thanks for joining us on our journey as we are leading on our incredible adventure of hiking the Appalacian Trail, and one of many more adventures to come. Subscribe if you want to continue to follow along, and share with your friends and family, anybody who has expressed any sort of desire to do something in their life, or just been feeling held back for whatever reason. And or if anybody that is like, "Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to hike the AT, but I can't because I have kids, or I can't because I have this, or I have this, or I have this," shoot this over to them, and hopefully we will help them to see that they can do whatever it is they want to do in their life. So anyways, thank you so much, and we will talk to you later.